England 5, San Marino 0, an absolute hammering by all accounts, but genuinely not very flattering for the Three Lions, as it should have been about 10 or 12-0. Hey guys, I'm JT. Join me and help me dissect this absolute destruction of San Marino by England. And as always, if you do end up enjoying the video, then a like would always be appreciated. Let's get into it. Well, have you ever seen a more dominating first 15 minutes to a game in your life? We had them on absolute strings at times. It should have been about 4 or 5-0 in the first 15 minutes alone, let alone the entire game. It really was a matter of no Bamford, no party at times there. Honestly, the first 10 minutes, we had about 4 or 5 clear-cut chances. Dominic Calvert-Lewin missed one. Sterling had a header in the box. I think Lingard missed one, and that's just a few of them. I forgot the rest. We were honestly pile driving them. The first half alone, we had about, what, 20 chances I saw. Obviously not clear cut, but we were just peppering their goal, man. We were getting so much joy down wide, getting so many crosses in, and aerially dominating them. So when Sterling is winning a header in the box, that is when you know there is problems defensively for San Marino, and that should have been the telltale sign that, look, they are there to be got at today. Let's have an absolute field day. As it happened, we had to wait until the 14th minute to get our opening goal. Ben Chilwell cruising down that left-hand side, putting a beautiful ball in. And who is there but James Ward-Prowse to tuck it home to get his first goal for England. Very happy for the lad. Does he deserve to be starting in that team? You know what? It's a friendly. Well, it's not a friendly. It's a World Cup qualifier. Basically a friendly. Let's be real here. So you know what? It's good to give him his shot. I think there are other players that should be ahead of him. But generally, top guy. And you know what? If we do need someone for set pieces, with Trent possibly not being in the team, then you know what, he can always do a job, although I still would rather have Calvin Phillips on those set pieces. Speaking of Trent Alexander-Arnold, it was his fullback competitor Reece James who got the assist for the second goal. We really didn't let up after that first one, kept piling the pressure on, kept getting balls into the dangerous area until Reece James whipped in a delightful cross. Who's there? Dominic Calvert-Lewin, big DCL, uses his aerial ability, uses his strength to body off the man, nods it into the corner of the net. Beautiful finish by him, beautiful strength, poise, composure. Although it must be said he should have scored a couple by that point, and although he did get 2 goals to his name, he really should have at least had a hat-trick today, DCL. He had an absolute field day in front of goal. So many chances coming his way, and a player with his kind of strength and aerial ability should have been getting more. Would Bamford have got more? That's my question. I think Patrick Bamford would have had a hat-trick easily this game. The amount of chances, the amount of space he would have been getting, he would have had an absolute field day. Patrick Bamford has got to be in contention for this team, and I will talk about Watkins getting his debut goal, who was of course picked ahead of him. And you know what, fair enough, I'm happy for the chap. I don't hold any ill will against him. But what I will say is that Patrick Bamford on merit should have been in that team, and tonight could have scored himself a hat-trick. Speaking of the squad selections, there's one player I do want to quickly talk about, and it is Messi Lingard. He has been brought back into the squad. He was kicked out of it for a good few months there while he wasn't playing at Man United. But you know what? He went away to West Ham. He grafted his arse off, and he's earned himself back into that team. 100% deserved, in my opinion. I really admire what he's done there. Everyone was hating for him. Everyone was saying his England career is over. There's no way he's going to be playing in the Euros. He's done. He's finished at this top level. And what did he do? He proved everyone wrong. Honestly, I've got so much rating for the guy after doing that. And now back in the squad. And today he was playing some dangerous balls, man. He did play very well, and I will get onto his assist that is going to come in a couple of minutes. But generally around that, he looked dangerous. He was threading the balls through the midfield. He was creating space. He was very good on the ball, dribbling tactically. And you know what? I'm very, very happy for the guy. Even though he's a Man U player, and look, you know my allegiances. I'm a Leeds fan. We don't really get along too well. But Jesse Lingard, I really, really rate the guy. Fair play to him. And you know what? You love to see that in football. You love to see people proving people wrong, sticking it up their arse, and that came out very, 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 very wrong there. Not sticking it up their arse, sticking it to them, should I say. And that's exactly what he did. Well, obviously, you know, you can stick it up your ass, but that's personal preference. And I think Jesse Lingard actually has a girlfriend, so I don't think that is his. Well, you know, could be sticking it up her ass, but I digress. Speaking of players proving people wrong, the assist for the next goal is a player who's proved me wrong personally, and it's Mason Mount. Mason Mount at the beginning of the year and a lot of last year, obviously I did hold a bit of a grudge against him after him knocking us out of the semi-final, and I did think he was a bit of a Mickey Mouse player. I didn't really see what was so great about him. I thought he was just Southgate's bum chum. I thought, Frank Lampard's just paying him for the sake of it, but he has really proved me wrong. And this year specifically, he has been quality on the ball. The things he does, he can just do a bit of everything. He can take people on, he can create space. He's just, everything he does, he is class at. He's a very consistent player. Consistent 8 to 9 out of 10s across every aspect of the game. And it was a pretty standard assist today. Slots it into Sterling. Sterling does the work, takes on two players. Beautiful, tight control. Again, Sterling, a player, I was listening to the kickoff the other day. They're saying he's not in the conversation for the forwards that should be starting in the Euros. And I cannot believe that one bit. He was class in the World Cup. I don't care what anyone says. He was part of the system. He was the one creating the space, starting the pressing, doing everything that was good for us attacking in that Euros, in that World Cup, in the Euros. Again, has to be playing. He links everything together up there. When England play without him compared to when they play with him, completely chalk and cheese. I don't care what you say about Grealish or Foden being a better player than him. It's chalk and cheese, man. You can really tell when he plays for England, and he has to be starting in the Euros for me. Quality player, world class by all accounts. How people can slate him, I cannot fathom it. Also on that show, there was another player that they said is no way good enough to play for England, and he's played tonight. He's started yet again, and his name is Kalvin Phillips, England's best midfielder. Look, I love Declan Rice as much as the next guy. I think off the ball, he is fantastic. He knows exactly where to be at the right time, and his passing is pretty underrated. However, defensively, I think Kalvin Phillips can do everything Declan Rice can do, if not a bit more, because I think he's a bit quicker, he's a bit more tenacious, and he's used to being the only defender back in a side that presses everyone forward. He can slot into centre half and slot just shield the central defensive midfield areas, and is very versatile, because like I say, if we do want to go for it at the back, he can do a job back there. And that's not getting on to his attacking play. I think his attacking play is way better than Declan Rice. On set pieces, he's class. Free kicks, he can bang them in from anywhere. Corners, he can do the job. And his passing accuracy and passing range is absolutely fantastic. Paul Scholes-esque. I think it's better than Paul Scholes if you ask me. Some of the assists he's got this year, some of the play he does, and today again he was top draw as he always is. Kalvin Phillips has to be starting in the Euros for me as well. Look, you can see what I said about Bamford. Bamford, I don't know, obviously him actually starting in the Euros, that's a bit of a pipe dream. But Kalvin Phillips, this isn't even because I'm a Leeds fan. This is not biased at all. He is honestly quality. And if you watch him week in, week out, you will understand why. A lot of these people that say Kalvin Phillips isn't necessarily good enough, they don't watch a lot of Leeds. They don't watch what he does. They don't see how pivotal and how vital he is to every single thing we do. When we don't have him, we're nowhere near the same team. And when England have him, honestly, he's been quality every single game. The guy has got to be starting for me. He's so good. He is velvet on the ball. Kalvin Phillips for me, England's best midfielder by a country mile. And you'll see it as the years go on, as he continues to develop. You'll start to see what I'm saying. Alright, aside from this absolute rambling, we're now going to go on to the actual game at hand. And at half-time, England made a plethora of changes. Actually, so many I had to write them down to remember them. We brought on Mings, Foden, Bellingham and Trippier on for Stone, Sterling, Mount and Reece James. 4 changes all at the half-time mark. Try and switch things up. Try and get some legs, some minutes into some legs. Get getting a bit of game time, used to the system. You know how these games usually work like that, especially with the 5 substitution rule. And it wasn't long into the second half until that deadlock, well, not deadlock, but the second half deadlock was broken. 51st minute, by all accounts, Jesse Lingard comes down the wing, whips a delightful ball in, and who's there again? Your man DCL to slot it home. Calm tapping, composed. Brilliant finish from him. Looks like he started to find his shooting boots as the game went on. And honestly, again, another class ball by your man Lingard. Takes it down the wing perfectly, and the way he puts it in there, puts it straight on the floor, straight into his foot. There's no way that DCL could really have missed that. Brilliant play by England. And let me know what you think. Would you play Jesse Lingard in the Euros? Do you think he's good enough to get a starting position? Obviously, the contention comes in is where are you going to play him? Are you going to put him in that midfield three when you have so much competition? You're looking at Henderson, although he's probably going to be injured. Rice, Phillips, Dyer. I mean, Dyer, we probably count him out. Mount, Kovacic. Why? Kovacic. Oh man, I need a minute to go. Mount, Foden, Grealish. Or do you put him in that forward line ahead of Sterling, Sancho, Foden again, Grealish again, Harry Kane, Marcus Rashford? Do you put him ahead of one of those guys, or do you put him in that midfield three? It's such a tough decision. It's so tough to get these players in. We honestly have so many world-class players, or at least top draw players. It's unbelievable. We have an absolute, one of the best chances we've ever had in a major tournament to win it and bring something home for England. Is it coming home? But the question is, can Gareth Southgate fit them all into the same team? Can he manage to forget the names and manage to fit them all into a system? And you're going to have to drop some top players to do that, and that's just sad as it is. But is he going to be able to do that? Would you start Lingard in there? Who would you put in your starting 11? I want you to let me know down below. But is he going to do it? Is he going to be able to fit all these players into a coherent system? Let me know down below. Would you start Lingard? Would you start Foden? Would you start Grealish? Which one of these players would you start in one of those more creative midfield positions? Because those are really the main three that you're looking at right now until someone else proves something in the rest of the season. But right now, you're looking at those three really for that creative midfield position. Who would you put in there? And then next, of course, is the big talking point of the game. Ollie Watkins comes on for DCL in the 63rd minute. He looks lively, he looks hungry, energetic, really has that desire to get his goal and mark his debut off with an absolute bang. What happens? He gets the ball, opens up his body onto his right foot, whips it through the defender's legs perfectly into that side netting. Beautiful finish for the guy, and like I say, very, very happy for him. You could see it meant a lot to him to mark his debut off with that goal and really throw his name into the hat. Give Gareth Southgate a problem to think about. Can he get himself into that Euro team? Obviously, that would be the dream for him. Like I said, I do think Bamford deserves it more on merit, but I'm not going to hold that against Watkins. It was a beautiful finish by him today. Beautiful performance by him today generally, and I really, really love to see that when someone is so hungry to get that goal, and it just meant so much for him to score for England. And you could see it all over his face, and it capped off what was a brilliant night for England. And that was it. That was a wrap. That was 5-0. That was all she wrote for the night. Again, maybe a couple of half chances after that, but really the game was done and no one really cared after that point. It just seemed like a formality for another 7 minutes of the game. And we got the 3 points in the bag. We got the job done. Do you think that was enough to convince you that we could really, really do something in this European tournament coming up? Love to hear what you guys have to say down below. What did you think of the squad selection? What do you think of Gareth Southgate? Is he the man to bring back the bacon? To bring back the big one? Do you think he can do it? Obviously, we've got 2 more World Cup qualifier games against Albania and Poland, which will help us decide this decision. But that's all she wrote for now, and as always, thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, as I said, then a like would be appreciated. And if this is the first time you're on my channel, I do upload quite a bit of football content, a lot of Premier League content, a lot of Leeds United content, and a lot of fight content. If this interests you, then go give it a look and maybe subscribe if you enjoy what's there. But anyway, thank you ever so much for watching, and Let's bring it home, lads. See you in the next one.